Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. This is Kristin Odell of KLO LLC. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year! Can you believe it's 2022?
It is so good to see you. And no, I can't because I think the cartoons that I watched when I was a kid informed me that by this time we'd have flying cars and like robotic maids.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the Jetsons I just heard this, right? Are the Jetsons based in 2022?
That's what I'm referring to. I really don't remember, but I thought for sure by this point in my life, we'd have some of that. Although, iPads and this technology, Happy New Year, Stephen, really, really are remarkable. Like I couldn't have imagined this when I was in high school, for example.
Right, right. How about this
Happy New
technology?
Year, Mary.
Fun. I got a new cup from my good friend Amy for Christmas. Do you see this?
Oh,
It's called the
so your
hand
hand goes in
warmer.
there and to keep it warm?
Don't mind my man hands. Yeah,
That's
isn't it so
cool.
cool? So it's
Does
like,
it also work as a handle if you grabbed it from the side?
yeah, it's maybe
Oh,
not as
that's
ergonomically
really
friendly, but it
cool.
does work. Yeah, these are made in the US. They're sold at Ivy Trails. I thought it was such a cute gift. So I told her it was gonna get its big debut on Coffee with Kristen and Tina today.
I love it. So that's cool. So it's available locally at Ivy Trails.
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, so it is 2022. It is the year of the tiger, according to the Chinese zodiac. I take that as kind of a good sign. I mean, I don't really know what it means, but a tiger, I feel like we can like roar into this year and maybe have like a perfect year.
I feel like fierceness, like this is gonna be a strong year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Here's
not
hoping.
an aggressive year.
Maybe not ripping somebody to shreds or anything like that, but yeah.
Correct. Let's not go down that path. The year
And
of
it
the
looks like you
tiger.
guys had an adorable celebration. I love this little setup here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we headed out and made a visit with Doug's family for the new kind of in between the holidays and New Year's. And his dad built this and put this together. I thought it was so cute. So
Are you
that is
someplace
us.
warm?
So it was like 60s, or high 50s, low 60s while we were there for most of the time. So as you can see, the girls have short sleeve shirts on. I just have a very light jacket. Doug just had his flannel shirt on. Yes, it was very warm, very unseasonably warm while we were there.
Nice. Yeah, I noticed the Crocs with no socks. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crocs with no socks. I mean, when we're here, we just wear Crocs with socks. But yeah, it was a really nice visit and gave us a nice chance kind of to unwind and turn off. So I think it's one way, one thing when you're off for the holidays, but when you're not in your house, there's the stuff that you feel called to do in your home aren't there either. We weren't doing laundry there, or like, oh, I should pick that up or put that away or whatever it is. We weren't in that mindset because we were visiting. So it was really nice.
yeah. Right. You're not obligated to do the dusting or to do the straightening up. Right, right.
Right. So we do try to help obviously with meals and cleanup and kind of the normal stuff. But yeah, it was nice. It was a great break. And we got back on the 1st just so we could kind of catch up here at home and get settled in before the girls went back to school yesterday.
That line, there's a Christmas song where it says, Mom and Dad can hardly wait till school can start again. That
Yes.
line always actually made me kind of sad because one thing I love about the holidays is getting to spend like the pace of a day with
Mhm.
my kid.
Right. I totally agree. We had 2 like amazing weeks off. I wouldn't change that for anything. What I would say that I miss is kind of the routine of the day, right? There's something about the cadence of we're going to get up, get breakfast, go to school. There's something about that rhythm that is good for the soul, I guess. And so as much as I enjoy the relaxation of the holidays and just the time and memories with them, it's always good to get back into our rhythm too.
Yeah, that's true. And I do think that break, just taking that mental break and time off
Yeah.
is so important to like refresh and reset. I'm almost thinking that it should be it should be something we institute quarterly rather than just once a year.
Right, right. I'm with you. And I mean, I know you guys just took some time off. Doug and I have some other time set aside coming up. And it's almost like if you're not intentional about it, then it doesn't happen. And I think for mental and physical well-being, you kind of have to be able to hit the pause button every now and then and put yourself in timeout.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And also, you know what? I'm just going to pull up this graphic. Another thing that goes well for that is yoga. So I
Yeah.
love this little graphic that you shared about yoga. Do you want to tell me anything about this?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked on the show about my intention of doing yoga, and I didn't do very good with that goal last year. And there's plenty of reasons why. But this year, Doug and I are recommitting ourselves to once a week yoga practice. And so this is straight off Wikipedia, friends. This is nothing fancy. But it just basically says it's yoke or union pronounced is a group of physical, mental, and spiritual practices or disciplines that originate in ancient India. So it's like 5,000 years old, maybe even farther. I think the key here is stilling the mind. I love that. And it says the detached witness consciousness. That's a hard word today. But just like the idea again of turning it off. And I think, sometimes it's easy to have physical presence, or you might be really thinking deeply and you might have a strong mental presence, but physically you might not, it's such a good pause for us. So yeah, we're doing it. We're
I
getting back.
agree. And I think when you do yoga, like for me, one of the challenges is turning off some of those obligations, right? Like, dusting or tidying up or anything like that, right? Work,
Right.
whatever. Being able to just turn that off and immerse yourself in that practice for whatever length of time it is, that's when
Right.
it's the most beneficial.
Right. I agree. And it often takes me a long time to get my brain to turn off. Um, I mean, I will be in the middle of practice and things are still. Um, Steve, funny joke.
Okay,
Oh,
yoga dad joke. The bagel struggled a lot in the yoga class. It seems like it couldn't find its center. Nice. I love it. All right. A dad joke in Coffee with Kristin and Tina. That is a cool new
I
tradition.
love it. Yeah, so we're just gonna see how it goes, but we're being intentional about finding 1 hour in the week to slow down. And the idea is by the end of that hour, our minds and our bodies are at peace.
And you're doing it together so you can hold each other accountable.
We will be doing it together as often as possible. There may be weeks where we have to split just because our calendars don't align, but the majority of the goal is that we do it together. So, yes.
Nice. I think it's great having somebody to hold you accountable. For a while, back in the day, one of my good friends lived here in Manitowoc, and we started doing a yoga practice together. And then she had to move. She now lives in Colorado, or yeah, she lives in Colorado, but at the time, I think she had moved to Florida, somewhere out of state. We kept up the practice by at a regular time, we would just call each other, set the phone down, and do the
Mhm.
practice. So we weren't interacting with each other during the practice, but we had that accountability of like, okay, she's going to call at 4 o'clock. I better be ready. And it was
Right.
really beneficial to like keep you on track.
I love that. Yeah, we sat down with our calendars yesterday and said, okay, when are we going to go this week? And then I think every Sunday night we'll try to get into, do a calendar review and kind of look at the week and say, okay, this is going to be the day this week, or maybe a day isn't going to work for us to go together, but I'm going to go on this day. What day are you going? Just again, to, like you said, have an accountability partner to do it.
Yeah. Hey, we were talking about taking time off. We were talking about traveling. We did take a little trip. And what was so cool is on the return, we had a layover in Charlotte and everybody's like masked up, like you don't recognize anybody. But I had something with a Coolest Coast logo on. And all of a sudden I heard somebody saying, Tina, Jason. And when you're like not where you expect anyone to know you, we ran into Tom Bartlemay and his friend from Manitowoc in Charlotte. It was just so cool.
I think this is so awesome. Have you had this experience before, Tina, where you've been, or is that the first time that's happened to you?
No, one time I was at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, walking to a flight, and I heard somebody going, "Tina, Tina," and like I didn't even stop to think. Like I was 100% confident it wasn't me, right? Like here I am, like in Europe at an airport, like nobody knows me, and I keep hearing Tina, Tina. So I finally turn around, and there was my best friend's little sister. She was also waiting for a
Oh,
flight to go to Germany or something. I was like, "What? How can this be?"
That is so cool. We have had that experience where maybe more like we're sitting in Milwaukee at the airport waiting to get on a flight and we see other people. Doug is really good at recognizing famous people. Like he will recognize people and he'll say, "Oh, there's so and so." And I'm like, first of all, I have no idea who it is. And second of all, I would never bother somebody that is famous in an airport. It's just not me. He, on the other hand, is very happy to walk up and shake their hand and say hello. And so it's just so funny. Oh, Patty, high five. She's going to yoga this morning. I love it.
Hey, very nice, Patty. So I just pulled up this picture of you and Santa because I see Stephen asked, what was your favorite Christmas gift that you received?
Yeah. So first of all, I got a earful from Santa because he did not get to be on Coolest Coast this year. So I was
Next
like,
Santa, don't put me on the naughty list.
Okay. Jason and Tina are on the naughty list. It's fine. I'm here to support you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about Santa. I got so excited about Santa Claus.
Santa. I know. I love this picture. I love the enthusiasm. You're obviously on good terms with Santa. Stephen wanted to know, what was your favorite Christmas present?
Oh man. So, I don't, as an adult, the gift, how when you're a kid, I feel like the peak of gift happens for you and then it's slowly. So I got a couple of things from my parents that I really love, a couple of things from Doug's parents that I really love. But honestly, the best thing about our holidays was that my dad's sister came and stayed with us from the 23rd to the 27th. And we have not gotten to spend a holiday with her in a very long time, probably 30 years. And she stayed with us in our home and got to kind of relive Christmas morning through the girls. And there was something that was just really special about that, that, we didn't know until just maybe a couple weeks before Christmas that she was going to be able to come and share those times with us. So it ended up, that was the best thing.
Aw, that is so special. Mary said her favorite gift was some wireless earbuds.
Ooh, nice.
Mary, those are going to change your life. I didn't appreciate the value of them until I had them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, you're completely free. You just have to be careful not to drop them in the toilet because
yes, I do remember talking about that. So yeah, how about you, Tina? Did you have anything standout gift this year?
Well, what we did is we treated ourselves to a little trip away. And so that's like Christmas this year, birthdays this year, probably Christmas for the next 5 years, I would say.
Yeah.
But what was really awesome is my son is a teen, and mid-Christmas day after we'd opened present, he was like, you know what? This is a really great Christmas, Mom. Thanks. And I was like, oh, for a teen to have that assessment, that really made my Christmas.
I love that. I said so we obviously have a 12-year-old, and that 12-year-old is not always surprised. And we got her good this year. And I said to Doug, I feel like we nailed it this year, and it's nice to come off the holidays and feel like, yeah, we finally did it.
That's awesome. That's a good feeling as a parent. Well, and you know what though? I feel like we missed the Broccoli Chronicles.
Broccoli.
So he's gone, right? He left with Santa.
Was around. Yeah, I'm trying to think. He's been gone, since the 24th. So it's we've discussed if Broccoli needs a career reassignment to another task at the North Pole. Other parents, you know what I'm talking about. Let me know if you need help drafting your elf to somewhere else. But, yeah.
Hey, Kristin, I know we've only got a few minutes left, but I want you to tell us about the cool experience you had downtown and how just the feeling of Christmas and everything.
Yeah. So we, the day my aunt came into town, we took a ride. I just wanted her to be able to see the downtown. And, there's just so many, it was exciting to show her all the things that were happening downtown. So on this particular day, Tom Drill was in his special Christmas hut. I don't know what that's called. I'm sorry. Ringing his bell. Two of the guys were down there. They were playing Christmas music downtown, which was just so cool to have this live music pumped right downtown. But you can see the Christmas decorations are up, the snowflakes on the library. It was picturesque. And I had my window down just because the girls were crossing the street. I was kind of watching. I was like, this is really, really cool. Again, maybe it doesn't feel like Manitowoc, but I'm convinced I need to stop saying that because it really is. our community. But yeah, it was, I mean, we drove by the wharf because she hadn't seen any of that. And then obviously they have their little snow igloos down there. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And got to just see all the new shops that are downtown. And obviously they're doing construction on the river apartments off of 10th Street. So she was like, oh my gosh, that's what's going, it just, there was just a lot of really cool and exciting things to share with her that she hadn't seen in a while.
There's nothing like leaving the community for a little bit and then coming back to really give you that perspective. So
Right.
like we traveled over the holidays and when we came back, literally I kind of gasped. I'm like, oh, look at how beautiful it is here. It was just so well maintained and orderly and the decorations look beautiful.
Mhm.
Not that I had forgotten, but I was like re-impressed with it because I had been outside the community.
Right. Well, and I think you have you had an opportunity to take some time off. And when you come back from taking that time off, it's so refreshing. And I think, just have a different outlook on things because your mind and body are rested. And so there, I think, tends to be innovation and creativity and gratitude in that versus like the stressed out version of ourselves. And so you probably came back with a whole new lens on the community.
A whole new lease on life. Hey, and
That's
one thing, Stephen just mentioned that taking time with his family in
right.
person was so special this year. And I'm really glad you brought that up, Stephen. You're right, because last year, so many of us, it was impossible with the
Right.
situation. So that is a great, great development.
Yeah. Steve, it's funny you bring that up. Last year, we had a babysitter that was sick with COVID. We didn't know it. She watched our girls, and then it kind of went through. One of our girls had it, Doug had it. So we were actually in quarantine from like December 5th to December 27th last year. We were home. And I reflected a lot on that because, you're talking like, well, what did we do for Christmas, or what did we have for Christmas dinner? And I was like, dude, we were home, the five of us, for that entire window of time. We celebrated Nora's birthday by ourselves. Like, all of these things happen by ourselves. So yes, I agree, Steve. It was a lovely perspective to say, look at us, we were thankful to be with other people for the holidays, and also to have that point of reference to say, whew, thank good that's behind us.
Right. Yeah, I think it was almost more joyful this year because we could, see family and friends again. Okay,
It
you
just
guys,
shows
well,
I was just going to say, it just shows you the value of maintaining important relationships.
yeah, it sure does. I was just going to say, you guys, yes, we're moms and we're chatting, but we're also entrepreneurs, and we're so happy to be back. So happy to see you again. But Kristin and I have to sign off because we've got to jump back into the work. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will look forward to seeing you next week on Coffee with Kristin and Tina.